You know, for working with longer textured hair, there's such a variety of things to make their hair look different, to make it look unusual to them, and really make her the fun of the party or the event that she's going to. I'll show you a vertical tail lace-up that is the simplest half-up hairdo that we have. I hope that you'll like it. Think about this when you're working on straight hair as well. The first thing that we'll do, now you can divide the hair into as many sections as you want, but we're going to take her hair and simply divide it into two. My finger 1 inch below the top of her ear on both sides. And the reason why we do this in a lot of looks is it divides the hair evenly in half. So once your fingers are there, to avoid having any partings, direct your fingers straight up to the ceiling like this. Nice casual part. Very gently separate the hair. I'm just going to just find out where the most of it is. The more gentle you are, the more they'll appreciate you're working on their hair. Sometimes, you know, if you struggle with the longer lengths of hair, it nearly kills them when you get the hair separated. So if you see her slump over, you know that I wasn't quite as gentle as it might look on the camera. Okay? Gently separate that hair. And then feel the hair to make sure that this tail of hair and this tail of hair feel the same weight. This feels really, really good. Maybe one more piece just like that. Okay? That'll do it. And try to make it look as difficult as possible to those clients so they think that you really are doing something special. So watch, we'll just take the top section, wrap it in a nice loose knot, and then run a clip through it to hold it in place. This will keep the hair out of your way. We'll immediately go to the bottom section. Now what we want to do is elongate her look. So if I pull this up too high and tie it, it kind of makes her hair stick out from the back of her head. So I'm going to hold this at her occipital bone, split it vertically into two, gently separate the hair out towards the ends. Gently, gently, gently. That little fan motion of your hands really helps the hair, but I'm holding this as tight as I can to not hurt her. Take this section, split it vertically in two, and then just to make sure that her hair will stay in, we'll tease 12 strokes right at the base, right where I know that the pins are going to be. These little vertical lines of teasing are so convenient, so quick, and assure that your bobby pins will stay in place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, we're not grooming through the hair so that we keep a nice, natural outside texture to the hair. Resplit that hair, holding it, again, right out from the occipital bone. I'll lace it together. Pull this down in the center back. Press that in nice and securely. And we'll put what we call a star formation of bobby pins in here. Large bobby pins. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want those bobby pins to stand up. If they fall over, they're just not going to work. So those 5 bobby pins, watch, I'll press this down, slide it up, press this down. This will cross over the next bobby pin. This crosses over the next one. This moves downwards and crosses over, and this goes across. So your bobby pins go like this. A really beautiful lock to the hair. We can do anything that we want with these bottom sections. I want to keep her hair nice and clean here, so I'm going to slide a bobby pin with a bit of grip on the hair. See just the surface of the hair? Lift the bobby pin up and then slide it up into that shape. This will ensure that your lace will keep your style nice and narrow. Straight in, turn it over, and slide it up. Same as on the other side. Now see, when this section comes down and drapes over top, we're starting to get a party look already that keeps the hair fun and moves around a lot during the evening. We'll go right to the top. A look like this, you can try as hard as you want, but if it takes you longer than 15 minutes to do, you must have stopped for lunch. Simple, easy. We'll work across the front part of her hair in the same way. What I do want to do is give her hair a little bit more separation across the top. So while holding the hair in one place before we separate it, Morgan wants a party style. We want to be able to give her something that's most of her hair down. A lot of young clients, clients of all ages, really like the idea of having part of their hair up. Something that's important about putting half the hair up is to keep it nice and narrow across the back. Here's a quick difference between taking the hair and putting literally half of it up and the other part down. You see how wide the shapes are. Watch the difference if you reach down to the point on the hairline on either side, right behind the ear, and part this up nice and sharp. It makes the center back longer, taller, and when you put the top up, the whole effect is a longer, more delicious sort of an attitude to the hair. Take her hair and do one of our most simple techniques is tiering. Taking small bobby pins. The whole thing is done in small bobby pins. All the bobby pins are 3 inches away from the scalp. We turn the bobby pin over and slide it in. We'll take a section right below it, dry it out, put a bobby pin at 3 inches, turn it over and slide it up, and it connects with the first pin. We'll add an extra bobby pin in there to lock the hair together. It's a very, very easy technique, but the idea is to make longer hair appear layered. So we'll take the next triangle below it, put the bobby pin at 3 inches, turn it over, and slide that bobby pin up. So you can see what's happening. It's a network of bobby pins that goes right down the center. It's important that each one locks together. If you're working with very slippery hair, tease the section, give it 12 strokes each, and that'll lock the hair together. We'll take our next piece right here, draw it out. The bobby pin still goes at 3 inches from the head. We don't want so much volume here, so we'll let the end fall down this time. Turn it over and try and crisscross it with the pin above. Now, as you do your center, you don't see too much. You see a little bit of the effect of this tiering, but as you build the sides now, it's very, very simple and fun to do. Watch, we'll just work this quickly. Small bobby pins, 3 inches, turn it over, direct it into the center. The next section, draw it out from the head, hold your bobby pin at 3 inches, lift the end up, turn it over, and slide the bobby pin in towards the center. Take the next section below it, draw the hair out from the head, put your bobby pin on at 3 inches, lift it up, turn it over, and draw that in towards the center. So what you're doing is building up that uniformity of big, thick tendrils, which is always fun and nice. Bobby pin 3 inches from the root, turn it over, draw it back, and slide it in. These are nice when they're having fun and dancing. The hair's got a nice, thick, heavy look to it, but very sensual and soft and separated. We'll continue this all the way to the front, drawing the hair back. Here's our bobby pin at 3 inches from the scalp. Turn it over, slide it in, crisscross with the second bobby pin, lock it in place. Be a little gentle, but I'll tell you what's going to happen is once we finish, we're going to air the top a little bit more. Draw it back 3 inches. Everything is the same, so your base is uniform, your designs, your tendrils, everything fit together beautifully. And it makes an interesting pattern. I'll show you a little technique that you can do using this as your base and then dressing the hair up. Now, anytime you get below the flat of the head or the occipital area, let your ends fall down. So when you turn it over, it doesn't build up height, but gives you lots of tendril sections along the sides. We'll leave a little bit of tendril out around her face. I like to keep them fairly high and draw their sections back here. Remember, the more sections you pick up, the more detail you're going to get. We're trying to keep them all even and uniform. Slide the pin up, and there's our tendrils. So what will happen on the other side as we work across that other side is we'll take a few of the tendril ends. This is when you want to get height. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag before we finish, but take a few little sections like this and separate the hair. Slide a bobby pin on the end, turn that over, and slide it in. So the appearance of more tendrils and layers really shows up. And remember that little trick we showed before too about sliding a bobby pin down a shape, moving the pin to where you want the hair to go, so when you release it, the hair sits exactly in the right spot. Ricky's beautiful, natural wavy hair is great to put up into styles for parties or for gatherings and stuff. One of the problems that girls with textured hair run into is to be able to get their hair controlled enough and have an interesting pattern rather than just pulled into one spot. So we're going to take Ricky's hair and do a drape. It's easy to do. We're going to start right from the outside corner of her eye and part her hair on a diagonal. Now you notice we're not going to use our combs or brushes. The hair stays with a nice natural over texture. As soon as you start combing the hair through, you lose a lot of that. So, and I'm going to put all these knots at balance points. So watch what happens. We'll grab one knot and make it right off center, but right in line with the top of the ear. I'll take another section below it, and in order to get her face to take a little bit of width here, I'm going to draw her hair straight back to the top of the ear again, use my fingers and tie a knot right at the flat part of her head. Those two beginning knots, we'll just groom them together. You can take all the time you want to kind of groom this hair up. I like to work with the hair as natural as possible and then just tuck it in. We'll grab the ends of her hair and just gently tie a nice soft knot in the hair. Now we're going to build her hair all the way down to the bottom this way. So I'll take a bobby pin right into that knot shape. One, just enough to hold the hair together. We'll come back and secure this afterwards. We'll grab another sharp section. Remember, working down the head. We'll keep this section at the flat of her head behind her ear. Draw that down and gather up another section in towards the center. So the idea is to gently separate her hair, draw each knot down, catch it with another one, another section, and gently knot those together. Now we'll be pinning this hair like this and letting the line drop across the neckline. So they're pretty for weddings, for parties, and really just for fun. Take that first section and pin it. And as we pin it into place, take a look at her from the front. I'm going to make sure I keep that volume up. And the one thing nice about knots is you can hold the hair into position, slide a bobby pin straight in. 2 bobby pins will usually work. Take the top one and press it up and slide it down. Take the bottom one, press it down and slide it up. So these 2 bobby pins cross over each other and lock the hair into position. You'll notice when we spray, again, in the direction that we're working, but I'm only using my finger and going as slow as I can to trace over the separations of the hair. I'm going to go right to the second side, draw her hair from the outside corner of her hair up. Now, even though we want to stretch this upwards, I'm going to get a nice natural overgroom to the hair. Any kind of little accent pieces, I'm just going to pluck them out now so they stay nice and light on the surface of the hair. We'll lightly spray that back. And again, when you're going to make a knot to the hair, you want to get into position. So I'm going to bring this up to the top of the head, hold it into position, tie a nice soft knot. And you can see we're not being too worried about the ends. We'll just groom them as we go along. Take another large section right underneath it. Can't really go wrong with these. They're simple little chignons. We'll press this knot in, grab the next section, tie a little knot to it. Gently press that up into position too. And we'll go right to the bottom section and draw this back. And again, we'll keep this section straight back away from the face. Hold the hair into position, and this will be right in line with the top of the ear. Make a gentle knot right to the scalp. Pick up your next section, just like that. It's almost like when you're doing braids, if you're traveling with your braids. Okay, just groom the hair back. You want to get a nice texture across the base and then lace that section together. You know, the trick is holding the hair in place. It's not anything more than that. It's not creativity. It's being able to manipulate the hair and hold it into a position that's pleasing, but also balances the face. And again, each time we pin a knot, we'll slide the bobby pin in, press it up. So many different occasions arise for having your hair put up. It could be you know, a happy reunion. It could be a situation for something that you want to look a little extra special for, but sedate, not too loud or bright with the style. I want to show you a very simple look to put up. Elise is young and vibrant and has lots of great hair, so just to keep the style looking young, I'm going to take her hair from the side and brush it over to the opposite side so we get a nice long draped sweep going across her forehead and keep the rest of the detail nice and simple. This will make her feel a little extra good. It could be a gathering that she needs to look really sophisticated or in line from how she normally looks during the day. Draw her hair back, and we'll make two shapes across the back section here. In order to make her hair stay in, we'll put some vertical line teasing right at the main balance point, at the halfway point between the top of the ear and the center back, and right in the middle on both sides. We gather the hair together, we'll get a nice section to clip. So there's one section right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can't say how important these areas of teasing are, because this isn't to make her hair big, 12, but to make her hair secure. And go right from the top to the bottom on each one of those vertical line sections, and then we'll go right down the very center back and draw that last panel in towards the middle. And I'll just turn her so you can see that when we're teasing this section, you see how those strokes go right to the scalp, comb off, 1, 2, 3, 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And make sure, you know, this part of the style that falls down the most easily is that section right at the very nape. So although my sections aren't too neat, it's not a haircut. I want to be casual and get the hair up as fast as I can. We'll take our section and do the same thing from the other side. We'll go right to the part at the top of her ear. Draw the hair straight away from the head, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To the halfway point between the top of the ear and the center back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And just like we're layering, drawing the hair straight away from the head, 12. And then our last section in the middle, right beside our first one. Starting right from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The interesting thing, you know, when you see a style, an updo on a movie or a press event or something, the hair looks so simple, but if there's no teasing in the base, the shapes just won't hold. They'll just fall flat. So it's important to realize to get something really beautiful takes a little extra work too. Again, I like the idea of keeping her hair nice and naturally groomed. Your finger patterns when you're doing this is very important. Watch. I'll spray her hair lightly in the direction that we want it to go, and from the hairline come straight back to the top of the ear, straight back to the halfway point between the top of the ear and the center back, and then up into the middle. Straight back to the halfway point and up into the middle. This gives a nice professional line that even as the hair settles through an evening, the hair turns out looking really great. We'll grab our second side, gather everything in towards the center, and we'll keep this buttercup nice and high. It's a very simple little style that's kind of eye-catching. It looks a little international. I always like to think, if you're doing a style on her it's not going too well, to talk about a place that you think she's never been. And if your style just looks like something you've never seen before, just pick a country you've never been to and say, you know, I hope you like this. This is the latest thing from Bolivia. She says, yes, I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, you probably won't, but if you go there, I'm telling you, it's really popular. Okay, I just slide a bobby pin upwards the whole shape, squeeze the legs together. This is flat pinning, and simply One of the most requested styles in salons still, and probably always will be, a simple twist. We have a couple of little ideas for you to get your seams in nice and quickly. One of the things is to make sure that they lock in. You just need one little vertical line of teasing down the center back. So I'm going to take her hair without any other preparation, work right down the very center back. Remember, this is for pinning. So that part is in the center back, and right from the bottom, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, it gives a nice little shadow of teasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll pick up the opposite side now and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the section above it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This gives me all the polish that I need. Once you've done your vertical line teasing across the back, we're just going to work across the front section of her hair and put a little bit of teasing in there to fill that up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll keep the sections vertical, draw them right away from the head, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This will add a bit of volume. Go down as far as the flat part of her head. This will give her a nice little additional fullness on the top. Keep the look sleek and simple. This is a day style, a style that you might wear to a simple corporate event, or just meeting the family, or just having something different, being a little bit bored. Just to have your hair slipped up into a twist really adds some excitement to the day. Tease our other side the same. These are all vertical strokes, so that as we draw the hair away from the head, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Same repetition, but we're only going down as far as the flat of the head, so that keeps a nice balance also of width and fullness. And we'll continue this right back to just behind her ear. Her top section, and add just a little bit of volume there. That vertical teasing really eliminates a lot of time, but you want to make sure that you've got enough lift at the base to give your style that little extra kick. All we'll do now is just pull all the hair in towards the center. It's very important to keep your client's chin up. Draw the back center section up to the occipital bone, or the flat part of her head. And to get a nice groom to the hair, I'm going straight up the center back with the narrow part of the brush, and everything else is going to be drawn straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back. Very gentle strokes. And then I'm going to grab and just brush the other side. You always want to try to brush your weak side first. If your right side is the weakest or your left side is, try to groom that section first with nice long strokes. Anything that slips apart, don't worry, you can always catch that later. Little bits of short layers or ends to the hair. You see I'm misting the hair a fair amount, but it's all going along the side of the head. None of the fragrance or spray goes into her face, except occasionally if she's not acting right. Sometimes they just need a little help, those clients. Draw the hair right back. Okay, we're right at the occipital bone. And then it's a simple twist by taking your hand, flipping it over, drawing the end down. See, I'm keeping that close along the scalp. And as I turn the seam over, I'm lifting that end up. And you just continue to twist that end up and pull it out as far as what you like. I'm going to stop right there. Slide the bobby pin straight in. Straight in and up. Remember, you're trying to find the bulk of the hair, so when you slide that bobby pin in, it crisscrosses the next bobby pin above it. Very important to keep at your client about keeping their chin up. With Ricky's straightened long hair, real flaxen sort of texture to her hair, it's really easy to do a lot of really simple things. We're going to do a little water lily chignon. We'll draw her hair up to a higher point on the top of her head and get all the hair moving in the direction that you want it to go first, and then start using your brush. And you find it's a lot easier to keep really good control of the hair. It's a very simple look, excellent for just about anything, and pretty non-fail. Okay, I'm going to brush your hair thoroughly through, and again, when we want to get a nice line to the hair, we'll go narrow up the center back into position. And this is halfway between the round of the head and the main balance point. And then straight back from the center of the face all the way through, from the center of the eye around the contour of the head. So the hair flows around the shape of the head. And on the sides, right behind her ear, we'll go straight back to the top of her ear, straight back to the halfway point, and then guide the hair up. So we get a nice, professional, lifted arch. Same thing right behind her ear. We'll bring it straight back to the halfway point and then up. Okay. Quickly do that on the other side. Always brushing the hair all the way through. So make sure that there's no tangles left in the hair. Just a light little spray. And I'll also give the brush a little spray. That'll help gather any little excess ends that might happen and retrace our steps. One spray of the brush should do half the head, and one more spray will do the other side. Nice, long, sure strokes. The slower you go, the better of a cleanup you'll get. And up to the top. Secure this tail with 2 bobby pins on an elastic. Now we do quite a bit of this when we're making ponytails, but 2 bobby pins really secure the hair well. We'll slide one straight across, hold it with a thumb and stretch it, and wrap the band around that shape and then crisscross it going back in the opposite direction. Locks the hair in really beautifully, really comfortably. And before we move on, we'll clean up the hair. Moving up the back, long, slow strokes to get the hair into position. Long, slow strokes. Boy, it's the best habit for me. Straight back, straight back. You know, when you want to increase the timing on your styles too, little short tricks that really increase your speed really make a difference. So combing the hair straight back, spraying it, and giving it a slow comb to polish it really makes the difference. Okay, and try to keep your comb on its side as much as possible. Now this look is all about getting ready for it. The actual look itself is so quick. Now you can cover the bands, you can do a lot more, but we're going to take the ponytail and divide it into 7 sections. We'll take the first section out of the middle. So we'll lift that section up, smooth it through. Now you can tease these and make these really big if you like, but I'm going to take this, tie a simple knot right here. I'll just have Ricky hold this. Take another section from the other side. This is section number 2, and you just want to get a nice drape to the hair. This is the simplest of all chignons. Just one ponytail, 7 sections, tie a knot at the base, gather them together, get your client involved, and we're just moving from side to side so the hair has got a nice pattern to it. It's not all draped straight forward. There's 5, 6, and 7. This little pattern now is a whole chignon, just by moving the knots up a little bit to make the hair a little bit softer, a little bit looser. When you drop the shape, your chignons, they're just like magic. We'll just draw the ends up. Beautiful Kasha. She's going to go to a party tonight. She wants her hair up simple. sexy and soft. What we're going to do is just start right from the middle of her head like this. Take a section, and I'm going to tease each section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right at the base, split it right into two, give it a lace like that, and then spray it. Now, what we want to do is create softness, a sort of fun look, but we need a few sections to balance. So watch, we'll take one right below it, do the same thing. On one side of that triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, split that section in half, lace it together, take a bit of spray, spray that. Pin these two sections together, so watch, we'll lift this one up, lift the next one up to it, so they're locked right together, and slide some bobby pins right through the shapes. One through one and one through the other. So they're crisscrossing back across each other. It gives a beautiful little pattern to the hair and makes the hair really, really simple to gather up. This is where we're going to get some height, is just by bringing both the ends of one side into one bobby pin, turn it over, and slide it right up the center as well. Grab the other two sections together. These are the two tails. And remember, this is for detail, but something that's kind of soft and fun. You'll see what happens across the top. We'll turn that over and slide that up in towards the center. You know, when you're working with fine textured hair like this, it's beautiful to create soft shapes with, but keep a little bit of teasing on the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Take your section, split it into two, lace it together, grab the ends of her hair here, relax that hair a little bit, and slide a bobby pin right through the center shape. Cross it with a small one. Now, this looks very simple and maybe familiar to you, but the idea is that we're not putting any pressure on the base. Keep adding bobby pins until I feel those bobby pins cross over each other, and then I know that that hair is locked together. What's left over stays in my hand. I'll put a bobby pin on it at, let's say, 5 inches here. Watch how simple this is. Just turn it over, move it over, slide the bobby pin in, and then separate the two sections so you have that much more detail on the hair. This is great for a romantic evening or for a wedding where you want the hair to really have a dressed quality to it, but also be fun and flirtatious. The lightness of the hair is going to come right in the last few sections. So we'll gather up a panel right behind your ear, draw that into the center, lace it together, and here starts the tendrils. We'll put a small bobby pin on above the lace, turn the bobby pin over, slide it into the center, and let the tendrils drop down. Keep the hair soft. It needs to be secure, something that's really important for any kind of a style for evening or for parties or and day wear, is that you create a nice amount of texture and then decorate it with softness and tendrils. Small amounts of hair, and we're working vertically, so as we go down the head, slide the pin in, turn it over, slide it up, make sure that that pin gets locked. A lot of bobby pins on finer textured hair really do slip, so they need that extra crisscrossing. And then take those tendrils, half of them, and half of it, like that. So these are the three pieces that give you the softness to the hair. These are fun to do and so easy and absolutely perfect for finer textured hair because you're constantly building shapes that are light. There's not a real pattern to the hair, but it's got a nice kind of touch me look to it, okay? We'll work her section right behind her ear, the same thing. We'll leave tendrils down, gather sections up, draw them up, split them in two, lace them together, drop a tendril from each one. There's a tendril from that side. Make sure it's nice and clean. And a tendril from the other side. And then what's left over gets put up into the hair. I'll take just half of her hair up like this. Twist this out of the way. Use a big pin or a clip just to hold the hair in place, and then take the bottom section, the bulk of the hair, and get rid of it. We'll draw this all together. We do a lot of this kind of neckline work on shorter lengths of hair, but watch how nice this works on a medium length. Gather the hair all together in a ponytail, slip a bobby pin over the entire shape, squeeze the legs together, turn the bobby pin right over flat, crisscross it with another bobby pin. We're going to make sure she keeps her chin up. It's really important. Slide the bobby pin across the shape to lock it together. Well, the idea is to get rid of this neckline hair, so mold the hair around that little twisted form and slide some bobby pins right on the surface. You don't have to worry too much about hiding them. They're all going to be covered with hair. The hair will come down over top of this shape. Locks it up. Try to make sure you're nice and balanced in the center. And we'll take one bobby pin to close off all those other pins. Not complicated at all. Feels like a bit of armory in there, but this really holds the hair together. Now we'll take the sections from the side and we'll put the sides in first. We want to build a shape that's interesting to look at. So we'll work with 5 very large sections. I'll take the hair from the top of her ear, tease the section vertically. Nice, small, uniform strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the next section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you know that each style that we do when we're teasing, it's very repetitious. Here's what you want to think about teasing. If you took the first section and did 12 strokes, the next section 24 strokes, the next section 36 strokes, what happens is the hair is really voluminous. So you can, if you carried on with 36-inch strokes, you can make a nice big wide shape across the back. So we'll smooth this section back, draw it slightly down just by teasing it all the way through to the ends like this. All the way through to the ends and moving it to the other side. It's important that this whole panel of hair stays together. So we'll go back and do it a couple of times. Don't get any drags or drapes in the hair here. But we want a little bit of a fullness to this. We still want to be able to have a little bit of sweeping and form to it. Smooth this with nice long downward strokes. Spray it in the direction that we want the hair to go. And again, I keep referring to this, but the trick is to hold your hand where you want the hair to be so you don't move it. So it gives, when you spray it and groom over the hair, you get a good proportion without any bumps or snags in the hair. Drape this line right to past the center. So it comes right over to the other side, nice and close to the base. We'll use a large bobby pin. Now we don't need any extra hair, so hold the bobby pin still, pull the hair back and tuck it right inside that shape. Pull it over and tuck it right along the base of that form, like that. Go right to the second side, right to the top of the ear, so both these sections are overlapping. Very simple to do, but a sensual, eye-catching style. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gather that section again together. As we tease the second side, once we have our vertical sections done, then we'll groom it again. You notice how I'm just laying the hair on my center finger, holding it with my index and my ring finger, so the hair is like a spool of thread, so when I tease it, it won't jump. You know, for working with longer textured hair, there's such a variety of things to make their hair look different, to make it look unusual to them, and really make her the fun of the party or the event that she's going to. I'll show you a vertical tail lace-up that is the simplest half-up hairdo that we have. I hope that you'll like it. Think about this when you're working on straight hair as well. The first thing that we'll do, now you can divide the hair into as many sections as you want, but we're going to take her hair and simply divide it into two. My finger 1 inch below the top of her ear on both sides. And the reason why we do this in a lot of looks is it divides the hair evenly in half. So once your fingers are there, to avoid having any partings, direct your fingers straight up to the ceiling like this. Nice casual part. Very gently separate the hair. I'm just going to find out where the most of it is. The more gentle you are, the more they'll appreciate you're working on their hair. Sometimes, you know, if you struggle with the longer lengths of hair, it nearly kills them when you get the hair separated. So if you see her slump over, you know that I wasn't quite as gentle as it might look on the camera. Okay? Gently separate that hair. And then feel the hair to make sure that this tail of hair and this tail of hair feel the same weight. This feels really, really good. Maybe one more piece just like that. Okay? That'll do it. And try to make it look as difficult as possible to those clients so they think that you really are doing something special. So watch, we'll just take the top section, wrap it in a nice loose knot, and then run a clip through it to hold it in place. This will keep the hair out of your way. We'll immediately go to the bottom section. Now what we want to do is elongate her look. So if I pull this up too high and tie it, it kind of makes her hair stick out from the back of her head. So I'm going to hold this at her occipital bone, split it vertically into two, gently separate the hair out towards the ends. Gently, gently, gently. That little fan motion of your hands really helps the hair, but I'm holding this as tight as I can to not hurt her. Take this section, split it vertically in two, and then just to make sure that her hair will stay in, we'll tease 12 strokes right at the base, right where I know that the pins are going to be. These little vertical lines of teasing are so convenient, so quick, and assure that your bobby pins will stay in place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, we're not grooming through the hair so that we keep a nice, natural outside texture to the hair. Resplit that hair, holding it, again, right out from the occipital bone. I'll lace it together. Pull this down in the center back. Press that in nice and securely. And we'll put what we call a star formation of bobby pins in here. Large bobby pins. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want those bobby pins to stand up. If they fall over, they're just not going to work. So those 5 bobby pins, watch, I'll press this down, slide it up, press this down. This will cross over the next bobby pin. This crosses over the next one. This moves downwards and crosses over, and this goes across. So your bobby pins go like this. A really beautiful lock to the hair. We can do anything that we want with these bottom sections. I want to keep her hair nice and clean here, so I'm going to slide a bobby pin with a bit of grip on the hair. See just the surface of the hair? Lift the bobby pin up and then slide it up into that shape. This will ensure that your lace will keep your style nice and narrow. Straight in, turn it over, and slide it up. Same as on the other side. Now see, when this section comes down and drapes over top, we're starting to get a party look already that keeps the hair fun and moves around a lot during the evening. We'll go right to the top. A look like this, you can try as hard as you want, but if it takes you longer than 15 minutes to do, you must have stopped for lunch. Simple, easy. We'll work across the front part of her hair in the same way. What I do want to do is give her hair a little bit more separation across the top. So while holding the hair in one place before we separate it, we're going to take Morgan's hair into really a dress-up style, something that has a little bit of volume, it's a little bit full. We want to make it easy to do. draw her hair in big sections. Again, trying to keep the hair a little bit more on the natural side, using fingers more than our brushes and combs. Take this large section that we pick up, put a base of teasing at the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Regroom the hair with my fingers, slide a bit of spray on it, and again we're spraying lightly in the direction that we want the hair to go. Do a nice slow groom with our fingers. Beautiful natural forms you get from this. Slide a bobby pin on this section about 3 inches from the underneath, so that when I turn that bobby pin over and lay it, the hair goes close to her head, but it leaves a nice little turn across the top. We'll take our second section right behind that, scoop the hair up in nice large sections, draw that in towards the center back. Don't worry about your folds and your twists, but we'll gather this hair up, slide another bobby pin 3 inches from the scalp, turn it over and lay it right beside the first one. Cross it over with a second bobby pin. Now, this is pretty heavy with the bobby pins, but you'll be happy to have that support with the hair. You can see the direction that the hair will move into, and we'll take our third section up the center back, draw it in towards the center as well. Slide a bobby pin on at 3 inches. Keep this uniform from the scalp. Grab the end of the bobby pin, lift the end up, turn it over, and lay it right beside the pin above it. These shapes are easy to do, and you know, flipping the bobby pin like this, you can see there's 6 or 8 bobby pins there, but this is so secure. You don't have to be nervous about the hair dropping or slipping down throughout an evening. We'll start right from the other side the same way, just avoid a little bit across the front. Draw this back and put a little bit of teasing just at the base. Like that, 12 strokes. Groom the hair back, spray it. Groom a nice, slow finger movement towards the back. Slide a bobby pin on at 3 inches from the base. Grab the ends of the bobby pin, turn the bobby pin over, and it lays right in towards the center. So it sits right on top of that. One extra bobby pin will lock that hair in place really easily. So you can see formations and how easy it is to get the hair in sweeps of movement. Take the next section, draw that right in towards the center back. Groom it back. Gather the hair up. Now, you know, nothing's as exciting to a client as when you just grab their hair and put it up. This gives you an interesting shape across the back, a pattern that incidentally will all be covered up, but it's always nice to have an underneath that you can lock the hair onto. Keep this hair moving up. Now, I look fairly aggressive when I'm working with the hair, but the touch is light. It's something that I learned a long time ago that's really served me well, is that when I'm working with hair, I try only to use my fingertips. So you won't see, or I try not to, pat the hair or squeeze it in. A lot of times you get heavy-handed if you try to use your whole hand. Work with your fingertips. Try to keep the palms away from the hair so it's easy to groom, easy to control, and you're light. It's like dancing, I guess, to be light on your feet. Slide this bobby pin in at 3 inches, squeeze the legs together, turn it over, and fit that bobby pin right in between the rest of the hair. So there's our sections up. Take each one of these sections, and remember this is a bit more of a party style. Take her sections and work with my brush and put little bits of volume in the hair. Now you'll see on our bridal tapes that we do brides bouffants and things like that. They're really fun. But taking the brush and just touching the brush at the base like this fans the hair out, gives us beautiful big puff shapes like that. Just light touches with the brush. Now you notice I'm not using all the bristles of the brush, just the side tips. But you can see how much volume I can mold in her hair. It's just like sculpting. You can get beautiful forms in the hair very quickly. Take this first. Charmaine is on her way to a party. We're going to leave her fringe just the way that it is. Take half of her hair from about an inch below the top of the ear, parting it up nice and sharply up towards the top, and work with 2 sections. Draw this hair back. Now I need something to pin to lock this shape in the crown together. So again, work down the center part. Nice large sections. Okay, and again, this base is really to hold our bobby pins. Nice large sections, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're not looking for a lot of height, otherwise we go to a higher number there, but this will work really well. And we'll go down just as far as the round of her head, right in through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the last section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Leave that shape there and go right to the center back and part it right down the middle and put a vertical line of teasing right in the center for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you can make these as casual or dressy as you want. Keep her hair straight, so I don't want to do any iron work or anything to it afterwards. So we'll start with our center shape right here and pick up the hair again at halfway. Lift this up. Draw the hair straight back into our hands, straight back. Flip out any little fringes that are left in there. We want to get a nice lift to the hair so that when we slide the pin in, we can get a nice shape. Now, rather than just fold her hair, I want to twist her hair a little bit until this length is short enough to go into the fringe. So that determines how many times we'll twist it. Once it's twisted, lay it against the scalp, hold it in position, take large bobby pins, slide them right through the funnel. Straight through, cross it up, straight through, cross the pin over, straight in, cross it over. And you want to make this feel nice and secure, not wobbly at all. But you can also see that when I'm finished that the lengths, in fact, will now spread across her fringe and give a nice effect. Just increase the security of this. Once we've done that, before we do any work across the front, we'll bring the bottom section forward as well. Draw it right up. This is a good style to do lots of fringing and lots of tails and little twists on the hair, but we want to keep this really pretty simple. Bring this up, twist it in the opposite direction, and lay that right up beside the first piece. So there's our first section, there's our second section. We've twisted one way and one the opposite direction. Bobby pins are straight in, and straight in. I can't stress with you enough, if you're looking to pick up different ideas for dressing hair up, it's holding the hair in position and pinning. You can take this hand anywhere you want, but keep one hand still holding the hair in place. And this will ensure that your style won't drop, won't slip, and it'll have a nice form to it as well. Now that we've done that, decorate with the top parts of the hair. Use a clip just to separate the top from the bottom. Take the hair down, be really soft with it later on in the evening. So start with her fringe area right here and just put a little bit of base, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and let the hair drop down. Small triangle sections, not all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just so I've got a little bit of variety of height here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now notice we're not using a lot of spray on the hair either. Keep the line simple and light, and use the spray really when we need to and closer to the end. These little triangle sections, if you always part the hair straight up, you get a nice kind of a blend, a simple kind of bump to the hair that just makes it look a little extra special. my fingers, I'll part halfway from the top of her ear in the center back, straight down. Fold her hair over in small little 3-inch folds.
Castle, shears, castle, shears. Welcome to the world of castle shears, the finest handmade Japanese shears available in the professional beauty industry today.
Castle shears are the ultimate scissor line to me. For 10 years and hundreds of cutting demonstrations across the world, I'm proud of my shears, love to show them off, and feel unique in the quality of their designs. It's almost like I have an idea and the shears follow my thoughts. We all have our moments of stunning haircuts, delighted clients, and satisfying results. Shears can really boost your confidence and speed, leaving more focus on designing just the right cut for every client. I've always believed that it's the designer's ability to create and the shear's responsibility to do the work. And now, my castle shears are my partner in cutting. Castle shears are truly about the people that stand behind them. Our friends at David Wick's agencies are dedicated, interested, and keep their eye on the needs of the future. You can be confident that they know how to stand up for the product and deliver service that will keep you with Castle for years to come.